Fall 2018 Nick Ackerman merchandise now available, ranging from long sleeve tees all the way to hoodies and iPhone and Galaxy cases. Check it out, link down below in the description. So what is up, guys? Nick here, helping you to master your technology. 2017 iPhone 10 versus 2018's iPhone 10s versus 2018's iPhone 10s Max on iOS 12. We're gonna do a battery stress test, drain test. This is going to be very heavy use, so it's not going to emulate, a light use day, more like an extreme heavy testing here on this video to really get down to see what they can handle. Now, you can see that I do have 100% capacity here. For the iPhone 10, the silver model, as I've shown on the channel since last year, 100% capacity still remaining for that boy. On the iPhone 10s, we also have 100% battery life here. I got the space gray model, and we're going to show you the capacity is at 100% as well for this device. Now, going over to the iPhone 10s Max with the largest battery here of the bunch, this one does give you 100% as well. Now, this one has a maximum battery capacity of 100%. So they're all totally fair for this battery drain test. I want to mention they're all connected to the same exact Wi-Fi network, Bluetooth on all of them, AirDrop I'm leaving on as I tend to use AirDrop day to day. So, a lot of times people forget this is even on. I've seen multiple users in the past just leave their AirDrop on. So I'm going to leave that on. Brightness all the way to the top. Background app refresh on all applications, because a lot of users are going to forget this even exists and leave this on. So I'm going to leave that on as well. Let's unplug these models and get started with our first test. So the first one is going to be an hour-long streaming of YouTube. I'm going to begin here on all three, and really what we're going to see is how much battery does drain after this first video, because video is one of the biggest drains that you can get on your battery. Not things like social media or just some quick browsing, but video really does put a lot of stress under this battery. So during this video test, keep in mind that the iPhone 10s Max does have the largest display, and it's pushing the most amount of pixels versus the 10s and the 10. I let this video run for about 1 hour, well, more like 56 minutes. The video wasn't technically 1 hour, and you could see that the iPhone 10 is sitting at a comfortable 85%. Now, that's a little bit less than I would like, but again, we're stressing the batteries. This is not light use. This is full brightness, background app refresh on, Bluetooth on, everything. 86% here for the iPhone 10s, so a 1% lead on 2018's iPhone. Over here on 2018's largest, biggest iPhone ever. What kind of battery life are we getting on the video after that? 82%, so a little bit shocking. Remember, they all have 100% battery capacity, so everything's fair here. The 10s Max is lagging behind a little bit right now. Next thing I want to do is test Geekbench and Antutu benchmark. Now, these benchmarks do put a serious strain on the CPU, and again, that's what I'm trying to do, is stress these batteries in this battery drain test, as real world use can be pretty subjective and it's hard to pinpoint what that is. And after a little bit of testing, you can see 80% on the iPhone 10, 81% on the iPhone 10s, and we have a 77% for the iPhone 10s Max. So still very similar with the 10 and 10s still in the lead. So the next thing I want to do is go ahead and let you know that I'm going to hit the 4K video recording here for about 1 hour. Now, I put it in 4K 30, which is pretty heavy video. It's going to put some strain on the CPU, and it's also going to really just make these phones drain quite a bit. So I'll be back when they are done with their video shooting. So that hour is just about up, more like 52 minutes, and 58% is now on the iPhone 10. Let's see where the iPhone 10s is, and the 10s is now in a 4% lead over the 10 at 62%. Now, the iPhone 10s Max is now tied with the iPhone 10s and takes the lead over the 10 at 62%. So the 10s Max is now pretty much even with the iPhone 10s. So let's continue with our stress test. I'm going to play this video over again to see what we do get after more streaming a video, and then I'm also going to do some more Antutu benchmarks. Again, I'm just really trying to get to zero on these devices with just some of the heaviest use you can put on these phones. And we're gonna jump all the way ahead to 4 hours, and that's 2 hours after our last update, and see where we are. Now, I also shot a 4K video at 20 minutes and exported it on each device in 4K 30 FPS, which was a serious drain on each one of these batteries. And at 4 hours, the iPhone 10 is now sitting at 12%. So a significant drop off from the last update, but that was 2 hours of heavy use, so that's kind of expected. 17%, so a 5% lead on the iPhone XS, and the iPhone XS Max, not even with its low battery indicator yet, at 22%. So the XS Max is now hanging on longer than both of the small guys. So more Antutu benchmark brings the iPhone 10 down to 7% at 4 hours and 11 minutes, and the iPhone XS at 12% after 4 hours and 11 minutes or so. So the XS still about a 5% lead or so. 17% on the iPhone XS Max. So the Max well in the lead over the 10, and the iPhone XS a little bit in the lead over the iPhone 10. So what I did here was I played a different video on YouTube now. This is about a 35-minute 1080p video clip, and you can see that after 20 minutes or so, 2% on the iPhone 10. You can see 4 hours and 30 minutes of super heavy use. Now remember, light use will get you even further. iPhone XS 7% after the same amount of time, and the iPhone XS Max 13% after watching that same video. So they're all pretty low and they're all respectably close to each other, but the XS you can see is already definitely going to be a better battery life than last year's iPhone 10. Within Antutu benchmark, the iPhone 10 is not going to make it through this benchmark as it only had 2% left, but you have to give it props for at least hanging on as long as it did, and it's dead. At a total time of 4 hours and 33 minutes, the iPhone 10 has kicked out. So again, with super heavy use, 4 hours and 33 minutes is actually quite respectable. Many Android phones, for example, cannot even get that far on their light use. So 4 hours and 33 minutes for the iPhone 10, not bad for that size of a phone. Consider maybe an hour or hour and a half more, maybe even more if you're really a light user. So pretty decent battery life there per milliamp hour. It's a pretty small battery in the iPhone 10. So let's continue on with the iPhone XS, and the XS Max is now showing its low battery capacity. Now, remember, in this heavy use test, you're probably not going to see the claims that the iPhone XS Max, for example, can go an hour and a half more than the iPhone 10. The XS can go about 30 minutes. We actually see the iPhone XS die actually 11 minutes after the iPhone 10. So actually what I've been thinking since I got the iPhone XS is that it's about the same as the 10, and this test is kind of showing me that here. 11 minutes is not a big difference. I'm sure under light usage it would still not be a crazy amount more than the iPhone 10. So the XS pretty close to the 10. So if you were gonna get a XS and you had an iPhone 10, don't get it for the battery life. It's not really a big update, and the winner automatically is the iPhone XS Max. It now sits at 6%, and this could be a big difference if you just need to get on that last train ride home, that last bus ride home, that last little stretch to get from work to home to get to the charger. The XS Max might give you that extra bit of juice that you're gonna need to get there, as this one significantly outlasted the iPhone 10 and XS by a good 20 to 30 minutes more in this heavy use. Now under light use, I get about an hour and a half more in my real world experience. So the XS Max is the winner, and probably expected winner of this battery drain test. But I think that both of them were actually quite good for being the size they are, and battery might not be the main reason to pick these iPhones. So the final results are in, and like I say, the iPhone 10 is the pretty good battery life. The iPhone XS is definitely an improvement, but not a huge improvement. You want to get the iPhone XS probably for the camera and some other upgrades like the A12 Bionic chip being more future-proof. The XS Max from the iPhone 10 is a better upgrade than going to the small XS. If you guys found this video entertaining, informing, enjoying, do me a favor, click that like button for me, as it does take quite a bit of time to produce and shoot this video. So I would appreciate that quite a bit. And subscribe on your way out. Nick here helping you to master your technology. Be sure to be well. I will catch you all in the next episode, and peace.